Imagine a killer hiding in plain sight for years in your own community. Elizabeth Salgado's disappearance shattered her neighborhood's sense of safety, leaving everyone questioning their surroundings. A single penny found near her body might hold the key to unmasking her killer. As I explore Elizabeth's case, pay close attention to the details. A church gathering days before she vanished. A 2-mile walk she never completed. The clues are there, waiting to be discovered. What happened to Elizabeth? Come along as I piece together this puzzling case that's turned an entire community upside down. Join me for another odd, mysterious story here at Odd Mystery Stories. Today's video is sponsored by Aura, the all-in-one app designed to protect your personal information and keep you safe online. Let me start with a question. How many spam calls and texts do you get in a day? Spam calls are annoying, but the real issue is even bigger. Hackers recently stole 2.9 billion records from national public data. These records include names, addresses, dates of birth, phone numbers, and worst of all, social security numbers. Some of this data has even been released online for free. If you're not taking steps to protect your personal information, now is the time to start. That's why I'm grateful for Aura. Aura monitors your personal data across billions of data points, including the dark web, and public records to alert you to potential identity theft. They don't just stop there. They also work to reduce spam calls and protect your sensitive information from being misused. And in the worst case, Aura provides up to $5 million in identity theft insurance to give you peace of mind. Protect your online security with Aura today. You can try Aura for free for 14 days at aura.com/OMS. Once again, that's aura.com/OMS. Don't wait, your peace of mind is worth it. Picture this, a sunny April day in Provo, Utah. The streets are bustling with students. The air is filled with the promise of spring. But for Elizabeth Salgado, this ordinary day would be the beginning of an extraordinary mystery. As she stepped out of her English class at Nomen Global Language School, little did she know that these would be her last known steps. Elizabeth had only been in Provo for a few weeks, having arrived on March 23rd to study English. Fresh from a mission in Mexico, she was eager to start this new chapter in her life. But on April 16, 2015, everything changed. At 2:30 p.m., Elizabeth sent a text to her sister saying that she had just left school. It was a simple message, filled with love and the mundane details of her day. This ordinary text, so calm and routine, would later stand in stark contrast to the chilling events that followed. Elizabeth's usual route home was less than 2 miles from her school, Nomen Global Language, to her apartment at the Branbury. She'd walked it without issue before, probably lost in thought about her studies or her plans for the future. But what was different that day? Did she take a detour? Did someone catch her eye? Witnesses reported seeing Elizabeth leave her class, but after that, it's as if she vanished into thin air. No one saw her on her usual route home. No security cameras picked up her image. Can you imagine the eerie silence that followed? The unanswered calls, the unread texts, the growing panic as her family realized something was terribly wrong. Here's where things get even more intriguing. The Utah County Sheriff's Office doesn't think this was a random act. They believe Elizabeth might have been taken by someone she knew. But how is that possible? She'd only been in Provo for a few weeks and had limited contacts in the area. Let's rewind a bit. On April 12th, just 4 days before she disappeared, Elizabeth attended a church event. Investigators are particularly interested in this gathering. They believe someone there might hold the key to unraveling this mystery. Was there someone at that event who took an unusual interest in Elizabeth? Now think about Elizabeth's final text to her sister. There was no hint of fear, no indication that anything was amiss. This suggests that whatever happened to Elizabeth occurred suddenly and unexpectedly. But here's where things get even more chilling. Elizabeth's walk home took her through areas that were less populated during certain times of the day. Could someone have been watching her, learning her habits, waiting for the perfect moment to strike? And what about the timing? Elizabeth's disappearance happened in broad daylight. This isn't the typical scenario for an abduction. It suggests either an incredible boldness on the part of the perpetrator or a level of trust that allowed Elizabeth to go willingly with someone. Both possibilities are equally unsettling. Imagine a hiker out for a peaceful trek through Hobble Creek Canyon, stumbling upon a grim discovery that would shatter the quiet of a spring day in 2018. After 3 long years of silence, the rugged terrain of Utah finally gave up its secret. Elizabeth Salgado, the young woman who vanished without a trace, had been found. Picture steep cliffs, dense vegetation, and winding trails that could easily hide secrets for years. It's the kind of place that makes search efforts a nightmare, and a perfect spot for someone looking to conceal evidence. Hobble Creek Canyon stands like a vast, secret vault guarding its dark mysteries. The discovery of Elizabeth's remains sent shockwaves through the community. Her family finally had an answer, but it was far from the one they'd been hoping for. The Utah County Sheriff's Office quickly declared this a homicide investigation. The circumstances were too suspicious to ignore. Now, let's talk about the location. Private investigator Jason Jensen pointed out something crucial. Elizabeth's remains were found about 12 miles from Kelly's Grove Park, where she attended a church event just days before she vanished. Jensen speculated that Elizabeth might have made plans with someone she met at that event, leading her to the canyon. Think about the timeline for a moment. Elizabeth disappeared in April of 2015, but her remains weren't discovered until May of 2018. That's 3 years of questions, 3 years of searching, 3 years of a killer potentially walking free. What happened during that time? Did someone return to the site? Did they ever come close to being caught? The state of Elizabeth's remains when they were found was another piece of this complex puzzle. While the details weren't made public, the fact that it was immediately treated as a homicide speaks volumes. What did the investigators see that convinced them that this wasn't an accident or a simple case of exposure? But here's where this story takes an unexpected turn. Among the scattered evidence, investigators found something small, seemingly insignificant, but potentially game-changing: a single penny. This isn't just spare change. This penny could be the key to unlocking the entire mystery. DNA testing revealed not one, but 2 genetic profiles on that coin. One profile could be Elizabeth's, but the other? Could it belong to her killer? Of course, we have to consider all possibilities. That penny could have been dropped by someone completely unrelated to the case. But in a place as remote as Hobble Creek Canyon, every piece of evidence takes on new significance. It's a tangible link to the past, a silent witness to whatever transpired in those final moments. As of 2023, the investigation remains active. Detectives are still piecing together the puzzle, hoping that this penny, along with other evidence, will finally bring Elizabeth's killer to justice. It's a stark reminder that in cases like these, even the smallest detail could make the biggest difference. As we peel back the layers of Elizabeth's short time in Provo, a disturbing question emerges. What if her killer wasn't the shadowy stranger, but someone she knew and trusted? Let's examine the faces that surrounded her in those crucial 18 days. You might be surprised at where the trail leads. Private investigator Jason Jensen believes Elizabeth may have become friends with the person who ultimately took her life. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? Jensen speculates that this person may have been trying to take her on a date when something went terribly wrong. Picture Elizabeth, new to Provo and eager to make connections. She participated in church activities with the Provo Young Single Adult Group. Her family is particularly interested in a gathering at Kelly's Grove Park just days before she vanished. What happened at that event? Who did Elizabeth meet? Did someone catch her eye? Or worse, did she catch theirs? Jensen revealed that Elizabeth made plans with someone she met at the church event. Could this be the key to unraveling the mystery? Imagine Elizabeth, excited about a new friendship, completely unaware of the danger lurking beneath the surface. But let's not forget about Elizabeth's daily routine. She walked to and from her English classes at Noman Global Language School. Along that route, construction workers were a common sight. One of these workers suggested that his co-workers might have been involved in her disappearance. Can you imagine? The very people Elizabeth passed by every day, possibly harboring dark secrets. Elizabeth's mother, Libertad Salgado, shared a heartbreaking insight. She said Elizabeth felt safe in Provo, believing she was surrounded by fellow church members. It's a gut-wrenching thought, isn't it? The idea that Elizabeth's sense of security might have been her downfall. Here's where things get even more frustrating. Investigators haven't publicly named any suspects, but the family believes someone close to Elizabeth may have been involved in her death. They're still seeking information from the community, especially those who attended that church event. Now put yourself in the shoes of the investigators. Elizabeth was in a new environment with limited social connections. How do you start piecing together her final days? Who do you question? So why do some investigators believe Elizabeth's killer may have been hiding in plain sight? It's all about opportunity and trust. Elizabeth had only been in Provo for 18 days. The chances of a complete stranger gaining her trust in such a short time seems slim. But someone she met through the church or school? Someone who seemed safe and familiar in her new surroundings? Well, that's a different story. Elizabeth Salgado's case remains an unsolved puzzle, with justice still out of reach. But what if you hold a missing piece? The Utah County Sheriff's Office continues their relentless pursuit of every lead, waiting for that crucial detail to change everything. Maybe you, or someone you know, noticed something odd that day, or overheard a strange conversation. Don't let that nagging thought fade away. Call the Sheriff's Office at 801-851-4010. Even the tiniest detail can break the case wide open. Your memory could be the key to unlocking this mystery, bringing the much sought-after answers to Elizabeth's family and peace to a community haunted by what happened. Thank you for joining me in another odd mystery. My name is Vince. If you enjoyed this story, you might also be interested in the story of the unsolved death of Nanette Krentel. You'll find the link to that story in the upper right corner of your screen. Your support helps keep these stories alive, giving the affected families the hope they seek. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And for those who'd like to further support the channel, be sure to check out our online store for exclusive merch and more. I appreciate you. Thank you.